Okay, folks, welcome to Sunday afternoon. I'm trying to do a little bit more painting today. Working on the Chariot. And that's this guy right here. Now, we've kind of already done the horses. And we've done the general figure for the most part. So we've got the charioteer, an actual chariot. And literally, this is exactly how I had things left. So first thing I'm going to do is we're going to pick this up a little bit. There's nobody here on yet. Give them a chance to join and clean up this area here. Because it always seems to kind of get away from you. No matter what you do, things just accumulate. I'm not sure if we're going to get what kind of viewers we're going to get. This is pretty late for Europe, and sometimes people are busy doing other stuff here in the States. So we'll just see how it pans out. Let's get us a new sheet here. I think I flipped this around. Yep. We're flipped. So I cogitated for a long time how I was going to paint this chariot. I think I've narrowed down how I'm going to do it. I didn't really want to paint it in one solid color, because there's really not any information on what these guys look like on their chariots, so I didn't want to be grasping at straws. Let's refill this thing here. And I'm going to go ahead, before I get started, and take my couple meds. About an hour earlier, but if not, I'm just going to end up forgetting. All right. Let's begin. So the color I'm going to paint these guys is kind of the same color I painted the goat shields. And for that, if I remember correctly, I used no, not that one. It's one of the colors of my 3-color terrain. No, not that one either. Is it this one? Yes, US Field Drab. We did US Field Drab and we darkened it with black. So that's what we're going to use as a base for this chariot. This top-heavy chariot. Alright, let's see what we're dealing with here. We still got black. Of course, we've got none of this color. Let's put it out here. We can start manipulating it. This is US Field Drab. It's the middle color that I end up using when I do my basing for most of the armies. And that's what we're going to use as a base. All right, so let's get a brush that hopefully will behave. And this is the last element in this army, not counting the camp. Get a couple of the suspects here, usual suspects. All right, here we go. So we're going to take this color here. And we're going to mix it with black. And we're going to get a pretty dark color. Uh-oh. We have a visitor already. Welcome. Geez, I can't see. There he is. Peter. Hapita. Haven't seen you in a while. I'm just going to coat this dark color on the body. Make sure we got some coverage on here. Yeah. And we're going to build up from this. So everything on the chariot body, we're going to do in this color. Now, there's kind of a little bit of a rim on this chariot around the edges. We'll do something with that. And you can barely make out. You can barely make out. I don't know if it's even going to come out here. At the base of the chariot, there's actually looks like they intended to do like a line, and looks like there's some kind of bolts or something down there. They're very faint, so I'm going to make them not so faint when I fix that up. So you just got back from a visit to Canada. You had 4 DBA games. Lost the first 3. Fun times. Oh. Well, at least you learned at the last one. Good. I'm glad you got some gaming in while you went to Canada. I know a few DBA gamers in Canada. They're nice folks. We're going to paint this behind area there. And the floor. Now, normally what I would do with this is I would go ahead and super glue this screw on the bottom of it, but the bottom of this has a ridge, so that doesn't really work. It basically the axle that goes across it is higher, and there wasn't enough space to glue this thing on here, so that's normally how I would have done it and had to get a little bit more creative. All right, let's add a little bit more of this color that it's really going to be. And we'll do the same with the floorboard. Now let's move on to the outside. Unfortunately, the Chariot wheels are almost all the way up against this vehicle. So there's not much space to get in behind it, but I don't think it's going to make much of a difference. So add a little bit more of this. Now gets the interesting part. Let's put some more white down here because there's not enough for us to work with right there. We also had a modern skirmish game based in Somalia. Don't ask me about the rules. I'd never heard of them before and only the presenter knew them. Fun was had by all. That's the official disclaimer. Everybody had fun. Don't ask me about the game. Modern rules, I have Force on Force. I played them only twice, I think. I didn't run the game. They're kind of a strange, abstract type of game. I don't know why I'm getting all these notifications of I'm now connected with my webcam. Well, no shit. Oh. Our group got back together for a week. We came from 3 time zones and not spent in the same room for 25 years. Wow. That's cool. I actually ran into somebody yesterday that I hadn't seen in 25 years. Yeah, about 25 years. I hadn't seen him. I ran into him yesterday at a store. And, yeah, I follow what he puts on Facebook and stuff like that, but I just hadn't run into him in a long time, so talked to him for about 40 minutes face to face. He's a gamer slash modeler kind of guy. You've been waiting on the Chariot. Is that the General's element? It is. You've been waiting at the Chariot. Me too. I've been waiting on it too. Welcome, Mike B. Yeah, I'm going to do the Chariot. I cogitated for a long time on what I wanted it to look like. If you pull up Amorite chariots, there's nothing out there. There's no information. So I didn't want it to look too glamorous. Because the rest of the troops are not very glamorous. They're, desert nomad kind of guys. And I didn't, even though they did eventually found places like Babylon and things like that. Or, I don't know if they founded Babylon, but they they ended up, one of the dynasties took it over. And I'm sure they would have had fancier stuff, but I'm going to base my guys on being, you know, just fresh out of the desert. So I didn't want to do colors that were super bright. For these guys who not much is known about them as far as how their units looked and stuff like that. And the horses are colorful with the blankets, or more colorful than this. But my intention is to make this chariot look kind of drab. So if it looks that way when I'm done, then I was successful, because that's what I was going for. All right, let's take this and add a little bit of white to it. I said a little bit, geez. Okay. Didn't know you were waiting on the chariot. Well, I don't know how long I'm going to be able to paint today, but I promise I won't build any of the chariot while you're not watching, in case you want to see what I come up with here. I literally, when I stop filming, I just leave this area. So like when I got in this afternoon, well, got in like, you know, like this is somewhere else now. When I went back to figured, well, let me do a little bit more painting. I had to take down those other things that were all over the room already. All right. I'm specifically avoiding the area on the bottom of the chariot because it looks like there's some kind of a band or something like that on it. All right. Just did 2 early Carthaginian chariots. They were a lot of fun. Cool. The Carthaginians people don't think about the early ones. Yeah. I always want to add a U to Amorites. That might make them too friendly. I don't know why I'm having issues with the thing connected and disconnected. I'm telling you, it's the freaking Taliban. It said, upgrade to Windows 11, ready for your PC. Well, we're not going to do that right now. We're kind of busy. Amorites. Aha. Far too friendly, yeah. I'm sure when they broke in and took over the cities, they were really friendly to a lot of people there. All right. Starting to get discomfort in my stomach. I don't know what it is about this position. And I don't know how long it's going to take for this shit to go away. But I'm about tired of it. It's been... Well, on Tuesday it'll be 3 weeks. So... Pretty annoying at this point. Early Carthaginians, interesting set of enemies. Yeah, well, the fact that they're different than the ones that everybody ends up building. Early Carthaginians back when they were First Punic War and earlier. All right. Before we get too carried away, I'm gonna go ahead and paint the. I'm gonna go ahead and paint the wheels. 6 of you guys on. Excellent. Hopefully I wake up a little bit. Right now I'm almost ready for a nap. And I'm not a fan of taking naps. Because that's less weekend I get. Hold on 1 second. I'll be right back. Okay. All right, like leave the room and you open one door and another one opens. You're in the process of ordering miniatures for a Ptolemaic army. Circa Raphia. That's what mine is. Yeah. Took your advice to use DBMM army list. And of course, couldn't find that book, so I ordered all 4 again. Uh-oh. You're correct. They're a great resource. They are. They're fun. I don't care if I ever play the game. There's all kinds of interesting things in there. And there's a lot of interesting things there that, have really been chariotastic. Yes. Something it should be in the English language, but isn't. And yeah, there's all kinds of cool stuff in there. And unfortunately, it seems like the DBA lists sometimes are dumbed down. Like, for instance, there's several armies that have war dogs as warband stands. I can't think of what they are right now, but it's several of them, and not just the conquistadors. But I mean, that's the first thing I think of when you're thinking of war dogs. But I want to say even the Lydians have war dogs. So you could have special scenarios and stuff like that, and use some of those units. Maybe something with a historical battle or something like that. That's what I'm probably going to do in the future. We're going to do some historical battles and add an element here and add an element there, just for variety. Not in tournaments or anything like that, just kind of one-offs that, we're doing at home. There's all kinds of really cool stuff in there. And yeah, it is a great resource. So, all right. Let's see if we don't fall the hell asleep. All right, let's. I'm actually gonna go grab one of the guys with a shield. I'm not connected. I think I can bring you guys with me. Let's see if this works. Let's see if I can get away with doing this. This is the first time I've attempted to do something like this, so hopefully it works. There's enough light in here, I think. Let's open the window a little bit to get a little bit more light in here. And see if we can. Let's see if we can pull this off. Let's see, is this light up here helping or hurting? Probably hurting. All right, this is not going to be really bright. I'm going to go ahead and disconnect this. It shouldn't matter because it's connected to the cord. And I'm connected to my Wi-Fi. So I want to bring you guys with me, and we're going to look at the stuff here I have on the display case here. This is what I put together from the Swedish supplier here, IKEA, and this is a display case that I needed more space to put my stuff in. So let's take a look at what we got here, and I can't really see the way it's at, so let's see what you guys got. Yeah, here's some of my buildings and stuff like that. And I got lots of space to expand. Lots of things on there. I don't know about putting lighting in there, because I have to put lighting on every level, and it really needs to come from the front, not from the back. So maybe I'll get some lighting that I can put maybe from the top that can cantilever over and do that. So we've got the papal troops there. And here we've got the French ordnance, Burgundy, and so forth. So I wanted to come over here and grab the Amorites. They're sitting up here. And just for comparison of, it's a little dark, but it's not too bad. Ottoman Turks, Hungarians, the old Irish. Got some vehicles here, dinosaur, that kind of stuff. I got lots of expansion. I mean, look how much space I've used here. I could probably put 5 armies on each one of these levels. just go like too wide kind of thing. Anyway, so I want to grab some of these Amorites here and take them up so we can compare the color of the Chariot. I don't know if that was successful. You'll have to let me know if that was if that worked. You suspect that the IKEA design team are wargamers. I don't know. It's actually pretty... The thing about IKEA is, if you find something that they have, odds are it's affordable. Okay? That thing was $150. And if you buy it at a real furniture store, you're paying a ridiculous amount for something that just sits there. And it is, yes, it's made of particle board, but believe it or not, it wasn't made in China. It was made in Italy. Thank you, Jesus. So, all right, I want to compare the color of the shields to the coloring of this, and I'm going to have to put this down and take a look at it. I see, they're a little browner. Okay, perfect. What about these? These are probably closer in matching. Yeah, no, I'm happy with that kind of thing. But yeah, I needed something to put my stuff in that wasn't in trays. I've got a very thin one in the other room, but it's totally tapped out. It's maybe it's not as deep and it's not as wide either. So it's completely full of stuff. So that was a long time coming getting that. What I had not planned was that. What I had not planned on is that it had taken, it took me just about one whole day putting it together. I wasn't expecting that. It wasn't difficult. It was just, you got to make sure you get the right piece in there. You don't want to start putting the wrong pieces. And a lot of the things involve like screwing things in, and you're screwing something into particle board. So as soon as you make the thread for it, if you back it out and put it back in, it's not going to be the same. It's not going to grip as well. So, all right. So yeah, mostly empty right now, but half the armies are on the other thing. All right. So let's do the wheels. Okay. And I think the color of the wheels I'm going to do a lighter color on the wheels, and I'm going to do a color that I think all the stuff like the bows and stuff in this army use a color like this or buff. So I want something like that, but that's a little bit less yellow. So maybe something like the skeleton bone from Army Painter. Maybe something like that. That's what we're going to try. Yeah, the important thing about the display case is you put your stuff in there, there's a chance you'll look at them, and it really does keep dust off of them. That's really the important thing, is you don't want to get dust and stuff on all your things. And I was actually going to put more levels, but the problem with that is you have to put the levels in a place where the cross beams don't obscure what you're trying to put on there. So it actually doesn't benefit to put more levels on there, because then it comes too space restrictive of getting in there and moving the things out. The shelves in this one, they're glass, and you can't take them out with figures on them. You can take the shelves out, but to take them out, you have to tilt them and then pull them out. So in other words, you have to take everything off that shelf, move that off to the side, then take the actual shelf that's empty, pick it up, tilt it at like a 30-degree angle or something like that, and pull it out. Unlike my other one where I can just, everybody's on this level, so you just pull that thing out, move it off to the side, and then just unload in your carrying case to take it over to Mitch's house. So, Perspex columns. Yeah, I don't know what you're saying. I got the columns part. Perspex columns. But I'm pretty happy with that. It had taken me a long time to pull the trigger on it. And I just finally got tired of not having all my stuff on display. And I've got more than enough space there now. So it works. Leave them on MDF trays. Oh, so make little MDF things they sit on, and then just pull the MDF thing out. Yeah, could do that. Definitely could do that. All right. Let's get this skeleton bone and see what we go with this. Yeah, because the bow definitely has a yellow tint to it. I didn't want the wheels to have that. So what we're going to do is we're going to paint all the wheels. We're going to paint the shaft up here also in this color. And see what it looks like when we get to that point. By columns, put extra shelves in or plexiglass. Yeah, I thought I was going to do that. I think when I put it together and I realized if I put more shelves, a lot of them are going to be hidden because of the cross beams on the front. And it's really restrictive to go in there and pull things off. You know, and I don't have to worry about that until I run out of space. And I think that's going to be a long time before that happens. That's going to be a really long time before that happens. Okay, so we've got this kind of a light gray color. We're going to paint everything that we intend on painting that lighter color in this light gray. And of course, this is the wheels here as well. And we'll do the same on this side. Wow, we got a lot of interaction here. Oh, you know this by experience. Adding extra glass shelves is too heavy. Aha. Probably a lesson you don't want to learn again. What is this slacking thing? All right. Yeah, we don't need to have that problem. Don't need to have that problem. So all you guys that are watching this, all you guys pretty much are unlocked down. Is stuff open for you guys? And it looks like we are going to play tomorrow. And hopefully we can film. I can't guarantee that it will be DBA. And I'm probably not going to do it live, only because the resolution's just dumb. The last thing I did live was really, I was very disappointed with how it looked. So probably going to try to avoid doing that from going live on mobile, because the resolution is just too bad. And it's not the phone, it's the YouTube itself. They got it set up so if you have a mobile connection, they don't care how good your mobile connection is. As soon as they sense that you have a mobile connection, they're maxing you out at 720p, and that just doesn't cut it for seeing things clearly. And let's do the top here. I'm going to go ahead and paint this bar here. I did finally bite the bullet and mail ordered a die-cast ambulance for my Gaslands build. Just didn't have any in the stores here in town. I guess replenishing Hot Wheels isn't a priority for stores. See the little bit of color differentiation we're starting to have there. Uh-oh, we got a long one. Don't they upgrade after it's loaded? They used to. Things are pretty much open in Germany. Restaurants are open, stores are open, but we need to wear a mask and keep our distance. Otherwise, you would hardly notice. Well, that's good. hopefully it doesn't get too noisy. We got some noisy girls here in the house. No seating restrictions in restaurants. Okay. The restaurants that survived, anyways. I'm sure a lot of them shut down. As many did here, too. All right, let's go ahead and bring this up another level. Let's bring that up another level. And I found restrictions in Canada more restricted than in Germany. Germany is probably 70% double vaccinated. Double vaccinated, you mean having both shots? Well, the question is, if Germany was 99% double vaccinated, would they still have people wear masks? Live in Ohio, they will impeach the governor if he tries another lockdown. Yeah. Well, people need to, I think that if you're going to mandate places to shut down, then you need to pay then you can't expect those people to pay their mortgage. Then you need to forgive their mortgage. And then they're still not making a living. If you shut down a restaurant, you shut down whatever business, like you can't open under whatever, for whatever reason, you know. Even if you say, okay, well, your lease, you're not allowed to charge the customers, you know, lease. The people that have the restaurant still can't make any money because they still don't have an income. So it's still, even with that extreme measure, it still isn't, you got to do something else. You can't just shut people down. People got to, unless the government's just going to pay all of us to stay home, you know. I don't think they're going to do another lockdown here. So, but we'll see. It's all been one big surprise to me. I know that in my state, there's pretty much no restrictions, and they left it to a couple of municipalities. And the city that I live in had an ongoing thing for a month that ended at the end of September. So they could no longer mandate that you got to wear a mask or anything like that. If people volunteer to do it, they can. Of course, individual businesses can do whatever they want. But I would say, even without being forced to, I would say easily 80% of the people are masked up wherever they go in a store. But then they'll go to the University of Florida football game and not a single one of them's wearing a mask. And they're all packed in like sardines. So, you know, it's just really stupid. It's not, no, there's no consistency. There's no rhyme or reason to it. So, I honestly forget it's going on. It's, I know people are stressed out and they're living like it's the apocalypse. I forget it's going on until I go out in the real world and I'm like, what's this nonsense? What's this all about? So, but I don't really listen to the news. I don't really listen to the news. No, I don't listen to the news at all. I've given up listening to news for years. All they're doing is making you worry about stuff that all the time, creating problems, you know. Some things is legitimate and some stuff is just theater. I'd rather not listen to any of it. Sensationalism. Da-da. Ba-ba-ba. It's three these days seems really worthwhile. I don't know what that is. Okay, I know of no restaurants in our area that had to close. That's good. Good. They also seem to have kept all their staff. Now they're open again. Might have something to do with the way things are structured. Yeah, sounds good. Lots of businesses closed down, a complete mess. Denmark has stopped all restrictions, no masks, no immunization passes, no restrictions, but they're more vaccinated than we are. Netherlands talking about following Denmark's lead. Sweden, no mask mandate, almost zero fatalities. Yeah. I don't have a problem with the immunizations. I mean, I've had all my shots. Um, I'm not opposed to it. I'm just opposed to it if, well, you got to wear a mask and you got to stand on one foot and you got to do this stuff and you need to get vaccinated too. It's like, okay, well, if you want me to get vaccinated, then what's in it for me if I'm not particularly scared of it? I mean, and I don't have an extremely strong opinion the other way, one way or the other. I think that if you don't want to get vaccinated, you should be able to not be vaccinated if you don't feel like it. But that doesn't mean I'm not. I just do not like the incongruencies. The incongruencies drive me crazy. From the beginning, the incongruencies didn't make any sense to me. Well, you can do this, but you can't do that. But you got to wear this, but you can't do that. But children don't have to. But you don't at a football game where you're packed in. But you don't. It just, and this is all being told to you by people that can't even balance a checkbook. And they just keep moving the football. And there's some people out there that generally are living like it's the end of the world. I see it. I see people that are out there living like it's the end of the world. And, they've had some real trauma for whether it's real or not, I don't think they're ever going to recover from this. I think there's some people that are like, this has been kind of like another 9/11, whether it's overreacting or not. So, I honestly forget it's going on. But it's not mandated in this state. It's not mandated in this town. But I still see 80% of the people. I go everywhere and just everybody's covered up like it's the end of the world. And I know that it's not well they're doing that because they didn't get vaccinated. I'd say I think this county's like 65% or something like that. So anyhow, German government paid me more compensation money than I need for my company. Send some my way. I'm kidding. But they want accountability, and I will want to claw as much money back as they can so to keep the money, some saved. Okay. Moderna Vax has been, what does he say here? Has been discouraged for young people. On our game convention, we had a game convention that they were going to have it, they weren't going to hold it. They were going to have it, they weren't going to have it. They were going to have it, they weren't going to have it. Okay, so I'm like, well, I'm not going to run anything until we know that they're going to have the show, and there's not going to be any restrictions. Because I don't want a game with a mask on. I can't understand people. I can't understand people, and there's only like freaking 6 of us, and we're in a big area, and I don't see what the big deal is. You go to a football game with 80,000 people, but you can't play DBA with 8 folks. It doesn't make any sense to me, And but anyhow, so they said, okay, it's a go with no restrictions and something like that. Okay, so cool. So we're gonna run our games. So we're planning on going down there and run games. And like 1 week before, and I've got people that are traveling I got one guy who's traveling all the way from Texas. And he wasn't going to attend if he had to wear a mask. He's vaccinated, and he doesn't want to wear a mask because he's already vaccinated. That's cool. Pretty much anybody that I know, whether they have an opinion one way or the other, they pretty much want to follow whatever the rules are. Like if the rules are you got to wear one, and they don't want to wear one, they just won't attend the thing. It's fair enough. They're not going to go out there and have a fit or walk around and make an ass of themselves. They're just like, oh, okay. This is the restriction in this store. Well, I don't really need to go in there. Pretty much everybody I know is that. They either do that or they follow the rules. So it's not like we're trying to start a revolution or anything. But he didn't want to drive halfway across the United States and have to deal with that. And I didn't want to game with those restrictions either. I would just not go. That's fine. So a couple weeks before, they had said that there weren't any restrictions on it, but they stopped just short of it, and were recommending, even though you didn't have to, you should wear one, and we expect you to wear one. So at this point, I'm like, let's just not even go to the show because, I don't want to go. I was running this stuff with the intention that there weren't going to be any restrictions. They aren't, but they're trying to guilt everybody into doing it. And like a couple of people were really like vociferous about that. Like, you need to do that and you need to wear a mask. So, like, I told Mitch, let's not even go. We'll just run the games up here, whatever. Well, they go and they have their show and they take pictures. I see pictures of what's going on. And all these people that were adamant about you needed to wear one are all in pictures not wearing one. And I can't tell you how pissed off it made me. Almost to the point that I don't know if I'm going to go to the fucking convention ever again. Down there. It's one thing to say, hey, this is what you should do, but you can't say, I hate the color blue, and then the next thing you know, all you're doing is wearing blue stuff. Because that shit don't fly with me. I'm many things, but I'm not a liar, and I don't talk out of both sides of my mouth. And you got to deal with bullshit like that when you're at a job. I don't deal with it in a hobby. So, I don't know if I'm going to go to another show down in Orlando. And I'm okay if I don't go down to one. We'll just run our games here. We'll still film the games for you guys. But, and I know there were several people that were in the same boat that have run games for a long time. And they basically said, I'm not going to go down there for the same reason. So, I don't know where it's going to end up. Maybe I'm overreacting, but honestly, I don't have time for that kind of bullshit, And my fear was that they were going to change their minds by the time I got down there. So I got all my stuff down there. I got people coming from out of town who don't want to come to the show. We told them if there was going to be masks forced on you. These aren't people that are vaccinated. These people that are vaccinated, and show up down there, and then they change the tune at the last minute. Nah, that just left a really bad taste in my mouth. Really, really bad taste in my mouth. So, that yoke for your horses, it is. When this started 2 years ago, nobody knew what would happen. They looked at the last pandemic, people left, right, and this would be a repeat. Where millions dead. Ebola, 85% infection rate, 50% days within 6 days. Yeah. Well, as soon as it started, I knew one thing. I wasn't going to buy anything that came from China if I could avoid it. And that's what I tried to do. I'll go to a store. Where's this made? China. Screw that. They're not getting my money. The government can deal with them if they want. I can't control that. But I can control what this guy does. Literally, it could be anywhere else. I saw a cutting mat the other day. It was made in Taiwan. Excellent. I didn't need to buy one, but that's the one I would have bought. So I don't need cheap things made by them, So, anyhow. I think this has caused some major damage in societies, major irreparable damage in society. So, I'm just fortunate that I don't have to wear all that crap at work. And and to recap, I'm not opposed to being vaccinated. I am, as a matter of fact. I didn't do it for me. The girls wanted me to, so that they wouldn't have to worry about me. Okay, fair enough. I was worried that my psoriasis might flare up, but other than that, it's not like I'm not afraid of this thing killing me, and I'm not afraid of the side effects of the medicine, But now that I am, that place requires masks. I'm not going to go in there. I don't need it bad enough, so. But, I was never opposed to, vaccinated. It's just the way everything the way it's been told. Like, you must do this. Well, who the hell are you? It's just the way it's being sold. I don't know. But I don't listen to the news or anything, so it's, all it does is cause trouble. But I don't know if I'm going to go to another show in Orlando. I probably won't. I don't need it bad enough. I saved $250. Sure, some people didn't get the game. Oh, you didn't put on your games. Well, we put on games all the time and people don't show up because they come up with excuses why they can't make it. So, whatever. Here's what we're going to do. Here's what we're going to do it. If you can come, cool. If you can't, that's fine too, The only thing we won't do is we won't do our little games here the same weekend that the convention is. We had to do that last time because it was literally like 2 weeks' notice. I couldn't change my vacation. It was just one day to take off, So, next time what we'll do is we'll do our show either 2 weeks before or 2 weeks after or something like that. And like Historicon, they moved it to November. I can't make it in November, but if they have that limitation, I won't go to Historicon. First of all, I'm uncomfortable. I don't have to wear it at work. There's incongruencies all over the place, and I can't understand people because you would think that I'm wearing some kind of a mask. I'm going to enunciate more and be louder. No, people mumble, and I don't hear well anyways. So. Yeah, nah, I don't need that. I don't need to game that badly. I don't need to game that badly. I'll just sit here and do videos with you guys. And saved a lot of money too. Well, that wasn't the objective, you know. I mean, shit, I hadn't gone to a show in 2 years. I got enough brownie points saved up to go to that, so. Well, let's see. Let's lighten this up a little bit more. These lighter shades go a little faster. Okay. And we'll do the same thing on the other side. And let's do the same thing on the shaft. Well, at least I'm not falling asleep. Got my blood pumping a little bit. I can't stand people talking out of both sides of their mouth. That's like pistols at 30 paces shit for me, you know? Say what you mean and mean what you say. All right. Need just a tad more. Maybe just a tad more, because remember, I'm putting these down on here. Watered down a little bit. If this is made out of natural wood, which it probably is, and you're driving this over an arid environment, this wood's going to dry out and be ashy in no time. That's my philosophy behind it. All right, let's do the same thing on this other side. All right. Back off and take a look at this in a second, because sometimes when I'm painting this stuff, I don't even see what I'm doing. I don't know if that makes any sense, but sometimes I'm not looking at the overall picture of it. So we'll take a look at that. Well, I can't look on the screen. You guys aren't getting accurate color, unfortunately. 2 horsepower. Yes, exactly. 2 HP. Oh, I like that. I like that. Now we're going to take this brown color and we're going to give it a little bit more depth in different areas. We've got some strengtheners there on the inside. I don't know if you can make that out. Let's see there. There we go. We're going to get them to pop, even though they're probably going to be covered over with most of the people. And then the horses that go on here look something like this. Let's see if we can get these in the picture. Yeah. So it's colorful without being bright and colorful. Yeah, 2 horsepower. Exactly. Let me get another refill here. I'll be right back, folks. Thanks for hanging out with me. Be right back. All right. Got a pumpkin carving party out there. Patriot Wargaming Solutions. Welcome. Welcome back. Hopefully you're fully recovered by now. I am 2 days from being 3 weeks with an upset stomach. Too much acid in the stomach, something like that. I don't know. It's weird. I eat too many oranges. Somebody donated like 30 or 40 oranges and I ate them in like 4 days. And I think that's where it came from. Too much vitamin C, too much citric acid. Didn't want him to go bad, so I decided to go bad instead. Talk about taking one for the team. All right, so we've got this little thing on the bottom. Boy, that'd look pretty cool in bronze. That would look really cool in bronze. I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do the bottom of it in bronze. And then we'll go in afterwards and we'll put some little stampings on there, make that pop. And yeah, let's see what that looks like. Let's see what that looks like. If I don't like how it looks, well, we can change it at any moment. So that's why we paint thin, right? That's not actually why I paint thin, but that's a byproduct of painting thin. Sometimes I can get away with murder. Now, we're actually going to go ahead and do straight bronze. We're not going to mix it with our little silver mixture that we've been doing for like when we're doing blades and things like that. I don't know what's going on with my... You know what? This thing's fully charged. Let's try doing something else. Let's go ahead and connect this joker through the back. And let's connect it directly. Is that a yellow ochre disaster? It is not. It's a flesh disaster. It's a sunny skin tone disaster. And it wasn't much of a disaster, but yeah, you see, it distracted you. I don't like things like that. Like, what's this big goop? It's like a heart or a pair of nuts or something like that. Always allow from this computer. So hopefully we don't lose a picture. Maybe we'll have a little bit better reliability now. Now we're connected directly to the computer, which I tend to not like to do because what happens is it doesn't do a good job of charging it, strangely enough. Let's get rid of some of these notifications. Let's get rid of some of these notifications. All right, and let's go back to business. Yellow ochre disaster. No, it's a sunny skin tone. Looks like a Vallejo bottle let loose. It's like a flesh phallus. That's right. That's right. There you go. Dun, da, da, da. Has a problem with girth. I wasn't going to be the one to call it a pair of nuts, but that's exactly what I see. So thank you. You're welcome, Rick. Hey, just tell it like it is. We don't mince words around here. Yeah, so it was one of those that wouldn't come out. I squeezed a little more. Whoa! And then it was all here. And then at some point, I leaned this at an angle and it drizzled down. So there you go. I've seen bigger. Hopefully you have, Mr. Carter. Hopefully you have. Hopefully, for your sake, hopefully you have. I agree with the bronze. While the subdued colors might be appropriate for the rank and file, I think the king would want more bling. The king would bling. Yeah. Let's get some of this going here in the corner. The king's got to have his bling. I forgot. I need to remember to watch one of those videos. I talked about it yesterday about the whole accents and stuff like that. All the accents of the British Isles. The unknown accents of the British Isles, for those of us that are not there, that don't know about them. I want to watch some more programming on it. Because there's just stuff I didn't even know about. Like that, what's that, that Gordy? I don't know anything about that. I didn't know that was an accent. You know, it's an accent I can't understand, but, you know. Need to learn more about the inner workings of the things of the British Isles, and especially since fully half you guys are from there. Well, that's where wargaming started. All right, how are we going to do this? I think how we're going to do this is let's get crazy. Let's get crazy. Let's get crazy. Do I have a color that is darker than this bronze? That is metallic? I do. And she's right here. Oh my God, it's an army painter. I don't know that. I don't know that I've ever even used this one. Geordie. Soft G. Okay. You're from that area. So you understand that language. What area is that? I know it's in the north. I didn't know about that, you know? So this is an Army Painter color called Rough Iron, and it is, look at this. Oh, well, it's not mixed well. All right, hold on. I'm not going to put a mixing ball in it right now. I don't think I've ever even pulled it out. I think I bought it and just never did anything with it. Excellent. Look at that. Now, I don't think I'm going to paint the whole thing in that. But we're going to darken this bronze with this. See what we get. This definitely looks like a Warhammer type of color. All right, we got this here. Now, this is the cool thing about, I'm going to see if I can get away with showing you guys. This is the cool thing about Vallejo Fitter. And it better do this or I'm going to be upset. I've dipped in this lots of times. I don't know if you can make it out. There's no particles floating around. So I'm taking something that's fully metallic and I want to give it a little bit more flow. If this was water, these metal particles would just go everywhere. But I just dip in there and nothing comes off. It's amazing stuff. It's amazing, amazing stuff. I'm a big fan. So I just thinned this down for fluidity, so I could paint this. Yes, let's just make up some new words while we're at it. We're just going to paint a banding here at the bottom. And I probably should have done this first because it's going behind the wheel. We're going to go ahead and just go across this like so and do the same thing. Here. Okay, and we'll do the same thing on this side. The king with the bling. Okay. I'll teach you some Geordie. Hadaway and shite. Northeast. Okay. So not within Scotland, but right there on the border. Okay. All right, so now we're going to take and we're going to add more of this bronze, which honestly looks kind of like brass. Even though I have a brass color, it looks kind of like brass. Let's thin this down a little bit. And let's bring this up. Okay. See if I can show you guys where we're. And let's go ahead and add full brass, full bronze. And if I cover up some of this wheel I just painted, I'm not worried about it. That's easy to fix. It's right there front and center. It's literally the easiest thing to get to. Okay, now let's punt for a little bit. We're going to take a look at some paintbrushes. Oh, hold on. I'm actually able to do this. I can. I think I can do this. This is a nylon tipped brush, and we're going to use this. I've actually never done this before, to put little spots of black. Okay, so we're going to come in here, and you can barely make out where some of these spots are. This almost looks like whoever the guy did, he sculpted them and then kind of had second thoughts and didn't put them very deep. You can tell there was some kind of a detail there. Just wasn't very proud of it. Or like I said, just had second thoughts on what he was doing. So now we got those little spots on there. Let's make sure we get all that off there. Then we're going to take this iron breaker and we're going to put a little bit of this off to the side here. And we're going to mix it with this bronze. So it's a little bit lighter bronze. And this is what we're going to make those little rivets with. Fasteners, what have you. And we're going to do the center of these wheels in that same color. And I might even go in here paint some around here to get that to pop. It's so weird that I have to turn it the opposite way that I want to for it to be on camera. Come on. Let's see what we got here. Look at that. It's not perfect. It doesn't need to be perfect. It just needs to give kind of the impression that there's something going on there, not just some bland chariot with not a damn thing on it. Okay? Now we're going to take the rest of this dark color, the dark gray, and we're going to bring that up a little bit. Give a little bit differentiation there. And then we're going to go in and paint on the inside. Let's see. All right. Nothing new. Everybody fell asleep or is in awe. Or maybe both. All right. I never use these little rubber things for that. It's always nice finding other uses for things you have. Okay, so let's go back to this color that we have here. And that involves this with this and the old Mr. White. And remember, this chariot is going to have some reins on it. So that'll help make it pop too, you know? All right, then we're going to take this same color and we're going to add a lot more white to it. And we're going to paint the edge of this chariot in that. Okay. All right, let's go and do the center supports in the same type of color. Not the center supports, the little stiffeners. Just a little bit of detail on there. Not looking bad, not looking bad. Of course, it looks better after you seal it. Penny 15 millimeter King's KGL. Gosh, I don't know what that is. King's Guard something. Second light for the Hey Saint at Waterloo. Cool. Cool. We got a lot of Napoleonics that we could do lots of stuff with. Not have to paint any of them. I don't know if I like either one of the two rules, though, that we use. Tell you what, I had an opportunity playing that game called Maurice. That's like all 1700s, 7 Years' War of Spanish Succession period. And the mechanisms for activating units and doing stuff is really, really interesting. It's not my period, but I really liked it. I really liked it. Well, I know we got these little wrap things on there. I'm not sure what color I'm going to do them. Probably in a color similar to buff. How different is the buff? Or this dark sand? Let's go ahead and just do them in this color. It should work fine. Make them pop a little bit. This one guy that I know actually had his rules, his Napoleonic rules, published by Osprey recently. I thought that was pretty cool. They're called Absolute Emperor. I don't know anything about them. I assume that they're probably pretty zoomed out. In other words, a figure represents many, 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 many men. A DBA-sized game or something like that from the battle reports I've seen online. But that's pretty cool to have your rules published by Osprey. The problem with that is that, do they have any creative are they basically going to tell you what to do with the rules? That's the other thing. And no matter what you do, however long you play test, you're going to have to do some kind of an addenda. And if you've got something that's already published out there, people are going to buy a book that isn't the latest version. That's kind of frustrating. Because it's going to happen. I don't care how careful you are. Somebody's going to come up with something that's wrong in your rules that needs to be revised or doesn't make sense. So you're going to have to make like an addendum. And I could tell you personally, I would be really frustrated for me to come up with rules and within a month there's already something that somebody found wrong with it. So I wouldn't want my stuff published, let's put it that way. Because you could just take down, put them out for free and they're on some hosting service and, they've now been superseded. So you take the old version down so people can't even find them and you put the new one up. As things to, just so people aren't playing the wrong rules, just to avoid problems. So, King's German Legion. Okay. Boyd Bruce. Yeah. Yep, I know Boyd. Yeah, he used to be a DBA player. He actually was playing DBA in our group before I started playing. I didn't know anything about DBA. Yeah. You just got him last week. Okay. They're pretty zoomed out, right? I mean, like, a division is like a couple units or something like that. It's oh, I gotta go make a pit stop. I'll be right back. Very abstracted rules. 4 bases make up a division. Wow, that's really zoomed out. That's Leipzig in the afternoon. You could, that's really well suited to people that want to play. I want to build all the armies. Well, the only way to do that is have only a few in each one. To be honest with you, if I got into playing Napoleonics, if I was going to paint stuff for Napoleonics, I would want a game that would have a lot of Napoleonic flavor because it would help me understand and learn about the period. Because that's what historical wargaming is for me. It's about wanting to learn more about the period through gaming. And if you're playing something very abstract, something very far removed from that, like I don't get a kick out of DBN. I don't feel like I'm playing Napoleonics when I'm playing DBN. It just feels like some other game. So I wouldn't build things for DBN because it's not going to give me the right feeling. So now, fortunately, I don't have to paint any Napoleonics because 2 people that play with us frequently already have all that we could possibly need. Now, if I still wanted to, yeah, I could do it, but I don't want to dilute my efforts in doing all kinds of other things, and it's not really my period. Let's add a little bit of white to this. Bring this up, and then we can move on to something else. All right, we're going to leave that as is for now. This is what the Chariot is going to look like for now. Could change it anyway. You know what? I need to bring this up. Doesn't have to be the exact correct shade here. I want to do the edge. So it could pop. All right, something like that. I'm going to leave the Chariot like that for now. And of course, we haven't painted the bottom of the Chariot. I don't need to paint much of it. After we spray seal this, we'll take this thing off and see what we're dealing with underneath. We'll just have to do it in 2 different steps. But this is what the Chariot's going to look like. And the horses they hook up to looks kind of like this. See if I can get my hand out of the way. There we go. So it's got some color, but for the most part, drabish. So I'm going to go ahead and call this one off. And we got the Chariot done like I wanted to. And thanks for stopping by, folks. And I was able to do a little bit more. And I'm going to go take a rest right now. It's just discomfort. It's not really pain or anything, you know. So we'll get through it. Like I said, we'll get better. I'll either get better or it'll kill me. That's really the only 2 solutions. So, but anyhow, thanks for stopping by. And yeah, Amorite Chariot. Cool. Okay. Well, until next time, folks. Enjoy what's left of your Sunday. See ya.